We're reacting to Odd1sOut, the truth about making cartoons. Let's go. And there's a beautiful puppy, so I'm so excited for this.
Hello, I just wanted to let you know that the Scribble Showdown tour is coming back. We'll be going to these places on these dates. If you're interested, then check out the link in the description. Otherwise, enjoy the video. Also, I have facial hair now.
Honestly, it looks really good. Like 10 out of 10 beard. Let's go,
Recently,
baby.
I read the worst YouTube comment ever, and I can't stop thinking about it. This comment lives in my head completely rent-free. It lives in its own private penthouse. The comment was concerning my upload schedule, and it was, if anime studios can make an episode of anime in 1 week, then these YouTubers can make a video in a month. Initially, I reacted like, you think that's how this works? You think anime studios post an episode and go, great work, team. Well, time to make the next episode this week. Hope none of you have any plans. I know the working conditions in Japan are bad.
I know, I was about to say, like, the last thing you should compare a YouTuber schedule to is a Japanese animation studio. Like, I don't know that much, but I know that even I know that Japanese animation studios have, like, some of the most hellish work schedules ever. Like, they work people to the bone. They are brutal.
But sheesh. I guess all the animators are just slacking off between seasons then, huh? And as I thought about it more, I realized, I can't get too mad. This person is just uneducated about the animation industry and is probably a minor. And then I thought, hey, I know a bit about animation behind the scenes. Maybe I could talk about being an artist and educate people on the animation pipeline. So that way, I won't get any more uneducated comments for this video.
Spoiler alert, guys. He's gonna get more uneducated comments.
When I say,
if anything, now he's gonna get more uneducated comments.
Artist, I'm gonna be talking about the Google definition of an artist. Noun, a person who produces paintings or drawings as a profession or hobby. You know, the pen and paper artists. I'm not really going to be talking about artists who make music or birthday cakes or take black and white photos of sunsets because I want to talk about cartoons. I make cartoons. Now, it should come to no surprise that I'm pro-artist. Well, not a pro artist. Are you kidding? I know my skill level. I still can't draw fingers. What I'm saying is I will support.
To be fair, he makes money off of his art, which I feel like is the definition of a pro artist, right?
Support anyone who wants to make art. If you're making art as a hobby, then that's a really great creative outlet, and having something physical as an end result is incredibly rewarding. But if you want to turn making art into a full-time job, you might want to sit down and consider a few things. Like, are you sure you don't want to go to law school? The biggest challenge all artists face is they have to eat food to survive. And in this capitalist society, food costs money.
I do think it's kind of insane when you consider, like, if you actually want to be an artist that makes money doing what you're doing, you kind of have to have two completely different hats that you wear. You have to be a really good artist that's, you know, skilled enough in your specific endeavor to make something great enough that people actually care, right? Like, if you're a musician, you have to be able to make a banger song. If you're an animator, you have to be able to actually make the animations. And then you have to wear an entirely completely different hat, which is like the business person hat. So it's like you kind of need to be a 2-degree person. You need a business degree to, like, be able to market and commoditize and monetize your content. And you have to wear the creator hat, which is just like completely different skills and abilities that go into doing both things, you know?
So artists are challenged to somehow take being good at making shapes and turn that into money. I know of 4 ways an artist can make a living. The first way is to be so good at art that people will pay money to hang it up in their house. The second option is to make caricature drawings at beaches and tourist traps. The third option is to sell your plasma. And the fourth option, which is the most common option, is to make drawings that people will pay you to make. And
that was depressing.
A little bit of option 3 on the side. Some artists will take commissions, which is basically an artist going, hey, I'll draw whatever you want, asterisk, for $100. And people will go, what the art should be free. I was going to give you so much exposure to my 50 Twitter followers. Or people will go, I want you to draw this cute animal character I made, and while at first your price might seem a bit high to the uneducated, I understand that art is a time-consuming process and you need to eat too. So here's a crisp $100. But another...
Oh, damn, I thought that was going to go entirely different. I thought they were going to be like, hey, will you draw this cute animated character I made? Getting piped out by the Hulk? Like, that's the thing he's not mentioning. Like, most people who are artists who are just starting out doing commissions, they often are just making money drawing porn. Like, it's just they have to draw porn because that's like where people are willing to spend the most money. So I thought it was going. I'm surprised it didn't even like go there.
One more stable idea is that artists will get jobs at studios or work for a YouTuber, and we'll be like, hey, we'll give you money if you draw specifically what we want, and if we don't like your art, we'll make sure to communicate clearly what we would like changed and work as a team to do the best we can.
Aw.
Or you're fired!
Oh,
and
damn.
that leads us into animation. An important thing to remember for animation is that drawings equal time plus money. Exactly how much time? Well, to answer that one commenter's question, no, an anime studio does not make an episode of anime in 1 week. I think. South Park is what making an episode in a week looks like. And truthfully, that's very impressive. I take months trying to figure out what the heck I'm even going to talk about. Making a single episode of a cartoon from scratch takes about 2 years. Don't believe me? Well, let's see what Yakko from the 2020 Animaniacs has to say in the very first episode. At least, we still think there's a President Trump. You see, the writers are writing this in 2018. Now, that doesn't mean it took 26 years to make the first season of the Animaniacs. There's a lot of moving parts that happen when producing an animated TV series. For starters, the whole season of the show gets made at the same time. While the writers are writing episode 12, the storyboard team is boarding episode 3, and the design team is designing the bowling shoes that are going to be worn in episode 6. And it's someone's entire job to make sure that everyone's doing their job. This is called the animation pipeline. And there's so many other departments that I could honestly make a whole other video about.
Dude, this is insane. Did you guys know there were this many departments? I had no idea.
This pipeline. If you're interested, I'll do it. But just know that it takes roughly 2 years to make a season of a cartoon show. And that's why when shows reference memes, they're extremely outdated. You know, like a boss. It's beautiful, isn't it? This exterior nighttime city skyline background. This background was drawn by one of my background artists, Annie Loomis, and it took 7 hours to make. And it was used specifically for this clip. If it wasn't for the Cats movie, I would have thought Hollywood knew what they were doing too. It lasted for 4 seconds.
Damn!
7 hours of work, 4 seconds of content. So before we continue...
Oh, hold up. Odd1sOut does not skip cheat day. Damn, I'm just saying, Odd1sOut, if you have a booty like that, you could be making Summer Rae Instagram money. Just take some selfies in the mirror.
So before we continue, I'm going to make you all sit and appreciate this background for another 4 seconds so
beautiful.
I can double the value of this background.
Do you think they can reuse backgrounds videos to videos? I don't know enough. I'm just curious.
Backgrounds can be a time-consuming process, and the whole purpose of them is to be in the back of the ground. They're not even the focus. So storyboarders will sketch out a scene to set the staging through layout, posing, and character expression.
Damn.
And during this phase, I'm trying to find places where I can reuse backgrounds or take pieces of other backgrounds and Frankenstein monster them together to make an entirely new background. Like how I used the city background to be outside this window. Or how I took the buildings from this background, the bushes from this background, and the bench from this background and made an entirely new background. And hopefully, none of you noticed.
Bro, I didn't notice. That's so cool. This is so cool, isn't it? I love these behind-the-scenes videos. It's so interesting, isn't it?
Am I being cheap or cutting corners? Absolutely. But that's the point. That gives another background artist more time to make something else. Like this James-themed city skyline. Instead of having to draw 20 different backgrounds of a bedroom. We already have a bedroom. Let's just do something else, please. It's not being lazy. It's getting the most use, the most mileage out of your hard work. I see this next story pop up on Twitter about every month, and it makes me want to stab my eyes out. If you look at this scene from The Jungle Book and this scene from Winnie the Pooh, these two similarly proportioned boys are eerily moving in the exact same way. Wait, was this...
Guys, Winnie the Pooh is goated. Winnie the Pooh is such an amazing cartoon. Like, y'all... Winnie the Pooh's awesome.
Plagiarized? Did someone from Winnie the Pooh plagiarize The Jungle Book? No.
Hey, Sadie, thank you so much for the subscription, homie. And big up Sadie with the gifted sub. Thank you so much. Guys, give some love to Sadie in the chat, please. Thank you so much, homie.
Said about drawings equal time plus money? Well, back in the old days of animation, before fancy graphics cards and floppy disks, animation frames had to be physically painted onto floppy, transparent sheets called cells. So animated movies were essentially essentially a really long flipbook with over 100,000 hand-drawn painted pages.
It's crazy.
Back then, drawings equaled even more time and even more money. This whole sequence had to not only be drawn 24 times a second, but it also had to have the correct timing to look like a little boy was jumping on rocks. Just because you drew 24 Mowglis doesn't mean they're gonna look good when you play the frames together. So if you're making a cartoon movie in the 70s and you need a scene where a young boy character is just being a dude and throwing rocks, and you need a really climactic fight scene, are you gonna spend the time and money drawing another boy throwing another rock when someone else already did that 10 years ago? Or are you gonna reuse the animation the studio already made and then have more time and budget to make an even epicer fight scene? If these movies were from two different studios, then
Boy,
yes,
I don't remember the fight scene in the Jungle Book being that crazy, do you?
that would be a completely different story. But Disney owns this movement of our boy Mowgli, so they're allowed to use that movement on our boy Chris. Turning your art into a full-time job is very...
This is a crossover episode that would be amazing. Christopher Robin in the Jungle Book would be so confused. He'd be like, why is that animal trying to hurt us? All the animals in my woods, all the animals in the 100-acre woods are friendly. Mowgli, what are you doing, dog? All of the animals in your jungle are mean except for like 2.
allowed to use that movement on our boy Chris. Turning your art into a full-time job is very difficult. I'm extremely lucky to not only have this opportunity, but to be able to build an amazing team of talented artists to create these cartoons and share them with you. And because of you watching these videos and supporting me, I'm able to reinvest money into the team so we can make better quality content and I can support more artists.
Aww.
It's a win-win symbiotic thing we got going on. So if you ever wanted to get into the art industry, good luck, get drawing, and start putting that portfolio together. I hope you all enjoyed
Dude,
this.
it's crazy to me. How many artists just make money doing porn when they start? I'm sorry, the Bowsette just popped up and that just brought back the whole Rule 34 thing again, right? That was really cool. Thank you guys for watching. Odd1sOut to King. Let's go.